And welcome to this special edition podcast. We're going to go over some Hall of Fame matchups. A tournament similar to WSCM's last year. Did you watch that or look into it? It was on Twitter last year.
I thought that was a popularity contest.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
Speaking of that, I got Caleb Jonkman with me today. How are you?
Good to be here. Back in the Wiltshire household. Smirnoff is the sponsor today, I see.
Smirnoff, yep.
Very good.
We got the owners meeting tonight, and we're going to knock out a couple podcasts here. Before that, have some special guests. Jared's going to be on here, the first one.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay. So what it's going to be is it's 64 players, the top 64 ranked players will be in a bracket type based on their ranking, which is how much you've played and your skill throughout the 4 years. The only players that can vote on this are the 73 players who have played in the league through the 4 years. So it's not Twitter votes, none of that. But I will send out a kind of like a Scantron test online for you to vote on the different matchups, and we'll get into more of that when I post it on social media. But we're going to give a little breakdown to each player on these podcasts so you guys can understand a little bit about them. Some of you guys haven't been here all 4 years, and you can hear Caleb's and Greg's going to join us, Brett and Eric, Jared, all of our input on these players throughout the year, and what our takes are through them. So first, we're going to start off with going through 73 through 65, the 8 plus 1, the 9 players who did not make the cut. I'm just going to talk a little bit about them and what we think. So we'll start with number 73, the 73rd ranked player. Who you got there, Caleb?
Sam Gromala. Oh, Sam. What is there really to say? She came for 1 week. She came with Ashby. I think she was looking for other things than just wiffle balls. I mean, minus the wiffle.
She had a thing for
know.
John Gibson.
She did. She did. It was actually funny when the little Ashby fling was going on. Ashby tried to get us to go on a double date, and I was like,
I would go with John too. The dude's a stud. I mean, I don't blame her.
I can't either. Maybe she could. Maybe we should introduce her to number 72. Maybe they could go on a date.
Maybe. Anything from you, Jared, on Sam before we? No, he's gonna pass. 72. The first time he's not ranked dead last in the 4 years we've been doing this.
Nice.
Matt Schaff comes in at number 72.
Always looking for an excuse not to come. I think we've come up with some creative reasons why he didn't show. Didn't we have a chemistry project or something the one day? I don't know.
He was painting. Working on some
going
paintings.
To plays. No, that was Brett.
Yeah.
That was Brett.
So Matt came for one game in 2014. We haven't seen him since.
No.
So disappointed, but I get it. He's got things to do. Number 71, one of my favorites.
Honestly. When he showed up in 2000, was it 14?
14, yes.
When he showed up in blue jeans, I about lost it. Blue jeans in his work boots.
2 cigarettes in his mouth.
Good old Joe Melf.
The Melfinator.
Melf, we need you to come back. I know you're never going to listen to this, but we need you to come back.
He was on the Chainsmokers for a couple of games. He was teammates with you, Jared.
He was
How
with
did you
Sheriff?
feel about it?
He wasn't a teammate with me.
No, but he played with you guys for a couple of games. Yeah, he did.
Jared doesn't want to admit the inevitable.
I still want some.
Number 70 just came to the end of this year. Justin Deckinga. I talked with him a little bit, and he's actually going to come next year. So
That's good. I don't think I talked to him. So
it is Sam Stahl's brother-in-law. He showed some promise.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see what he does. He's just so low because he's only played 2 games.
What one was Matt Dykstra's friend?
That was Cody Martin.
Okay.
But number 69, ironically, Lauren Ashby. Your thoughts on Lauren Ashby? I'm sure you got some.
I don't have many, actually. She made a sick video for us. That was pretty nice.
Listen, I'm so pumped that she came this year. Did a lot of great stuff with the videos that you're talking about.
She did very good.
She's interested in playing next year, which is cool. She's got some ideas to push some social media stuff. So
she might be a liner.
Maybe a liner. Wow. Okay.
Just throwing it out there.
Who was the black guy that played MLB first? Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
So she's the Jackie Robinson of females for wiffle ball. Greg's shaking his head at that.
Hey, Greg.
So we're gonna move quickly through these. Number 68. Oh, this is Matt's friend.
That's what I
Yes,
thought.
Eric
That's what I
Van
thought.
Laren.
Okay.
He's actually from Iowa.
Yep.
But over for the summer for Matt. Awesome that he came and played.
Yep.
I couldn't tell if he liked it or not, but
Hey, that's what the league is for. Try it out. If it's your thing, great. If not, move on.
if he comes back next year, come on out, man. I'd love
Right.
to talk to you a little bit more.
Right.
67, Micah Hescott.
Ooh. I think this one's Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, Sheriff, you know him. Come on, you know him.
He's a good guy, you know. He came out to play with a couple of friends from high school. A lot of team crowdity that came out, but, you know, he's just here for a good time, I think.
I think I know his brother,
Zach.
Hescott. He was like founded his own business or something.
Wow.
and
Good
doing
for
some
him.
cool stuff. Yeah, that could be, but Hescott's good family. Hope he comes back. He was a
Yeah.
nice kid. I played
Yeah.
against him once. His dad was your coach for basketball?
Yes.
Oh,
Small world.
interesting. I didn't know that. What happened to you, old Tom?
Oh, Tom called it quits a while ago.
Oh, Tom's answer called it
About
quits.
6-7 years ago.
Oh.
You want to talk about your situation with Tom?
Yeah, he told me I needed to gain 100 pounds and I wasn't going to play next year. Anywho,
All right,
Getting
number
quickly-
66, Evan Sylvester. Now he's from Purdue Northwest,
yes.
one of Austin Warner's proteges.
Came the first day, and Jordan Moselle put him as the ace of the team in his first time out, and he got slaughtered by my team, and I felt bad for him because he's a lefty who's got some speed. But
So he throws hard.
yeah, well, some speed on the base path.
Oh, okay.
And I think he could be a good player. I just think that first week, I think Jordan Moselle really effed him up.
It was one of Jordan's more questionable moves during the year.
We can't hear you, Sheriff. You don't have a mic in your hand.
I was on that team because the Badgers didn't play that day for multiple reasons. I'm not going to go there, but he did show some talent and some good future in the league, but I haven't seen him come back, so there's still a lot on the line.
I hope he does. So, and then 65, the last player to not make the tournament this year, Robert Warren,
Now that was the dad, right?
friend of the dad.
Friend of the dad. Okay. They weren't actually that bad when
No.
we played them. When we played the Otters, it was Robert. It was who was the dad?
Robert and Elijah.
Elijah. It was Robert, Elijah, Aaron Barnes, and Hescott, and they only held us to 7 runs.
Yeah,
So they
that's
weren't
huge.
awful. So
It's tough to get used to 48 feet and get thrown in the fire, and
Yeah.
I think he held his ground. I hope he comes back.
I do
next year.
too. I do too.
He's definitely got some talent, so you can't be successful the first
No.
couple times you come out. So
No.
So now we're gonna go into the matchups. We're gonna do 4 podcasts over the next few weeks. This one, we're gonna do 16 players, 8 matchups in each one. They're gonna be quick. We're gonna go over some things that we like about them, what they've done for the league. We're gonna get a little bit more in depth than we did with the last players. But we're gonna start out with the 3 and 62 matchup. And why don't you start that out for us, Caleb?
We've got Kyle Jansma versus Stan Straczynski. Now, this is not to be confused with older brother Tyler Straczynski, who's a student at Trinity, also famed baseball
He's a
player.
younger brother of Tyler?
Uh-huh.
I thought Stan was the older one.
No.
Oh, wow.
But Kyle Jansma, been involved with the league from the beginning. Famed as one of the more likable people in Leroy. He has been the owner of the Ovens this past year. He was a member of the Sliders back in 2015, if I'm not correct. Yes, rest in peace to the Ovens, Greg says. But one of the best hitters in the league. Just one of those guys that you look to as a pillar in Leroy. The future for Kyle, up in the air. Do you have any insider information on that?
Let's hear what Jared's got to say, and I'll give that info.
Kyle's like the dad of the league, you know.
Agreed.
He is the good father figure that we all want to look to when we come here and want to have a good time, and
When people are throwing bats, he lays down the hammer.
he's down with the law. He's the father figure.
Stan Straczynski's a player that you remember when Brett kept signing him last year. Or was it this year that he was signing him?
He didn't show up at all this year.
He didn't show
I
up
think
at
it
all.
was last year.
I like him. I mean, he played decent. I think he was on your team. I think he had a better ERA than you last year, honestly, or 2 years ago. I think he did.
Sure, we'll go with it.
But Kyle is my favorite. Obviously, for me personally, I'll be voting for Kyle. I think he'll make the Elite Eight minimum, and he should. He's not as outgoing. He doesn't know as many people. He didn't go to Ileana, the Ileana crowd, but he's been. You meet him and you love him, and he had a little bun in the oven of his own, or his wife's, and they had a little guy named Xander, and his participation next year could be
limited.
I hope not. I mean, it's just Wednesday, Kyle. Make it happen. Bring Xander with. Xander and Brantley could have fun throwing balls at each other or something. So
Kyle versus Stan. I think it's pretty easy to call Kyle advancing here.
So I think he's done enough. Being an owner really added to his what's it called?
Resume.
So to speak, and succeeding. And they had the second best record. I mean, obviously the short change in the playoffs hurt it, and could be the biggest disappointment in league history. But let's move on. So the winner of that will take on the number 30 seed of Shane Anderson versus the number 35 seed of Nathan Zeideman. This one's interesting to me. What do you got on this?
I agree. I really like this matchup. Now, for me, if you're basing this on what they've done for Leroy, Nathan's played for 3 years, but I think Nathan's career has been surrounded by controversy as well. So I think what you really have to look at here is it's really hard to knock Shane. He had a great first year. He came in. He got accustomed to the league really well. He had a big homer against Ovens that sent the Otters to the second round. But Nathan is a 3-year vet. I think what you really have to get down to here is focusing on these past 3 years without looking to the future. I think Shane is a future in Leroy if he wants it. But at the same token, Nathan has that experience. So I think it's going to be really tough. I think this vote will be close, especially since Shane had such success in 2016, a year where we really grew for the first time and were legit, where Nathan had that experience in years where we may not have been as legit. So what do you think?
Nathan's got a championship with you.
That's right.
In 2015.
That's right.
Fantastic Four. Although he didn't play many games that year, it's still a championship. Although the name is spelled wrong on the trophy. It's ZVIDEM. Nathan's played 23 career games. He's 6-14-3. Shane's played 14 games. He's 9-5. The stats favor Shane, but like you said, Nathan's been actually around. He played a little bit in all 4 years.
Okay.
That he's been around, but Shane's got 20 home runs and Nathan's got 15. So Shane's stats are better. But Nathan has played more games. So this one will be interesting to see what people will look into playing a little bit all 4 years or playing 1 year.
Right.
Not even really that consistent. Shane wasn't even really that consistent this year. He barely snuck through with enough at bats. So
Right.
only 14 games. But anything on this for you, Jared? Who do you guys got going to the Sweet 16 between these four? Kyle, Stan, Shane, or Nathan?
Oh, Kyle, very easily.
Kyle, easily.
Yeah, I think Kyle wins this one. I don't think the winner of Shane and Nathan will give him much of a run, but you never know. I think the Shane Nathan one will be fun to watch. But let's go to the 1946. Who do we got? I love this matchup.
Marty Rosala against your very own truly, happy as a clam, Ben Huff. Sheriff, your thoughts on Huff? You've known Huff for a while now.
Yeah, I recently met Huff over the summer. You know, he's a good, fun-loving dude. Always brings a good attitude to the team. But my vote personally will be for Marty, former Badger. Got him his rookie year. Showed great potential. He's even proved himself this year again. Great candidate, and I think he's going to go far in this. And really like his odds.
Yeah, I agree with some of that stuff. I think Marty's strength is that he embodies a lot of what we like representing Leroy. He shows up consistently. He cares about the league. He's invested in the league. He wants to see it get better. It's not a knock against Ben Huff. Ben Huff barely came. Ben Huff barely played. And when he played, he didn't play that well. No offense to him. So I think this one's pretty clear-cut. But I would love to see Ben Huff come out more. I mean, Ben's the kind of guy you want in Leroy, too. So.
Yeah, Ben played 4 games. He had 1 homer. If you want to see it, go to our YouTube channel. I specifically made a video just for it because I didn't add it to the other video and I felt bad. But, yeah, Ben's got a job with the Cubs now. Chicago Cubs, right?
Yes, he's selling merchandise.
Selling merchandise. So he lives in Chicago. He's got a huge apartment.
It's monstrous.
Absolutely. I mean 8-9 rooms.
The amount of people he could fit in there is absurd.
8-9 rooms or 8-9 square feet? That's the question.
That's the real question.
Marty won Rookie of the Year this year. He's played 36 games in 2 years. He came to our draft last year, and he just started to know us. He's friends with Sam Stahl. Doesn't know not in the Ileana crowd again, but he went to the draft. He got drafted by Grant, and at that time, the personification around Grant was you ain't gonna do nothing. And
right.
Him and Grant worked together, I think, great this year. Had a great team.
Absolutely.
And they could have done good things. They got a tough first-round matchup against the Bombers that struggled with them. But I'm going to go with Marty on this one. He's a big future of the league, although he's almost 37, 38 years old.
Is he really that
No,
old?
he's probably in his 20s.
I was going to say. I was like, Jesus.
But he's got another little one on the way, too, so we'll see how that affects. But he claims he's ready to go tomorrow. Next year he's going to be an owner.
Yep.
Of the Diamond Dusters.
Diamond Dusters. What was his first name that we shot down?
Oh.
It was the
The flat-billed
my-
Platties.
The Platypi. My God.
That was so stupid.
I was tired of going on Twitter and seeing tweets about platypuses every day. It's like, come on, Marty. Goodness.
I always posted stuff about dust storms. I love the participation, but
It's getting a little over the top.
Let's get some games going
before we
first.
start.
Let's get some Twitter followers. He's got 12 followers, and he's posting stuff like. Anyway.
The Badgers have the most followers.
Okay.
How many people do you follow?
Yes. How many people do you
Silence
follow?
from Sheriff. All right.
Silence from Sheriff. The next matchup that we have is another good one that I love just because the player, it's a 14 versus 51 seed, and who do we got here?
We've got the man of many names. We call him the Tapper. We call him the Instigator. We call him Unit. We call him Kyle Reinhout. 14, Kyle Reinhout. 51, 5K, Tony Dykstra. Tim, you start out with thoughts for this one.
Tony Dykstra came very frequently in 2014. He played just 3 games. Not much there. He had a couple internships in California. Actually worked for a place that sold like Christmas pants and stuff.
Tipsy Elves.
Tipsy Elves, which was really cool, I thought.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
So he was gone for a summer. I don't know what he did this summer.
Mm-hmm.
He's into Jeeps, I think, right?
He's a big, like,
Or is
I
that
think
his brother?
California changed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's now, like, hippie, kind of.
And he's into like
It's his vibe. And
Red-
longboarding and
Red Hot
chaw.
Chili Peppers and shit.
Chaw,
like that.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking gay. But anyways. No, I miss Tony's a good dude. I love him, but the main one I love about this is the Reinhout, the Tapper. And he's done so much for the league as in co-founding it and comes every year, lives an hour away, still comes up. We're ready for you to move. You're supposed to be moving here shortly, but I hope.
Is that on the rumor mill?
Yeah, I've been pushing it.
He should move back over here by us all. Be
He
much
wants
easier.
to, but he's played 60 career games, and he had a great year last year. I mean, last year he had, or this past season he had a lot of career highs, in home runs, RBIs.
Yeah, it's never really been the bat that's been an issue. I mean, he's figuring out how to pitch to contact, how to be deceptive with his pitches, and he's gotten better every year with it. So I really think Kyle's going to have another progression of getting better next year too.
Yeah, he finished with 21 homers, which is a career high for him, and tied for 7th in the league last year, which is huge. He's got to get his pitching down. He's got to work on getting a little bit on that, but he's definitely been a huge figure, and I think he'll win this matchup.
I agree.
They will. So who do you got making the Sweet 16 between Marty, Ben, Kyle Reinhardt, and Tony Dexter? We'll start with you, Jared.
I'm going to go with former Badger, Marty. He's got my
Wow.
vote going all the way there.
So you think the 19 seed will take out the 14 seed, huh? If they match up.
I believe Marty. Marty's just a likable dude. I think he'll get the votes to go for it. That's my opinion.
Wow.
I think I can't knock off the Tapper. He went to Nationals this year. I think that solidifies it for me. I mean, his investment in the league, he showed that he was willing to do stuff outside of Leroy for us, and I think performance Marty has him, but if we based Leroy just off performance, Leroy wouldn't be as special as it was. So I think Kyle moves on from this matchup. It will be close though.
Yes, this is two people that I really like, and it sucks one of them's gonna have to get knocked out in the round of 32. But my vote's gonna go to the Tapper on this one. I think he's got 4 years to the 1.5. So that's my vote. But we'll see how the people vote. 8 more guys here on this podcast to go over. We'll start off with number 11 seed Robbie Zanstra up against the number 54 seed of Seth Vantoff. What you got?
I played for Robbie back in 2015 with the Sultans of Soy. Robbie hasn't been one of those guys that you look to and say, yeah, he's super invested in the league, but he's also consistently showed up over 4 years. He's not going to lead the league in games, but he'll be in the top half. He's great when he comes. He's a great hitter. He's a great pitcher. I think he'll do what he's supposed to do in this matchup. I think he'll advance.
Sheriff? Any thoughts on Robbie and Seth Vantoff?
I don't know a lot about Seth, but I played against Robbie a lot. Been teammates with him too.
Won a championship with him.
I did, He's a good guy, brings a lot of competitiveness to the league, and I think he can go far in this.
If I told you that he was tied for 12th in games played career, would you believe me?
Yes.
Yes.
He's played 4 years.
52 games. He's tied with John Gibson. He's like the guy that you can't get a hold of. You don't know if he's going to show up, and then he just shows up.
and then he comes.
He's going to be
Right.
an owner again next year.
Yep.
I'm
Took a year off.
I'm hoping he communicates. That's it. But he's a stud when he's here, pitcher and hitter. Both. He's a two-way player that can get the job done, and he had a good season this year.
He did.
I think he's going to work off that. What team was he on again?
The Sliders.
He was on the backdoor Sliders.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into Seth a little bit. Seth played a little bit this year. He moved, or I should say 2014, he moved to Chicago. He's in our Snapchat Leroy group.
Oh, is he really? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, he's in our Snapchat Leroy group. He's in our fantasy football group. Thanks to Greg added him one night when he was completely trashed. But yeah, Seth's a good dude. He actually lived in this house. He moved into my house before I moved into my house. Did you know that?
Back when this room was a barn. Yeah.
In 2010, he moved in. I bought the house on a Saturday afternoon, and he was moving his stuff in Saturday night.
Well, there you go.
So, I had a great time with him. We had a lot of good memories here, and he's not going to win this matchup. Let's be honest.
No.
Everyone knows who he is.
Yep.
But Robbie had his best year this year. He had 19 homers. He's one of the I think 2 or 3 people that have double-digit homers in all 4 seasons.
Wow.
So that's something to hang his head on. A career 6.3 ERA, in 73 innings pitched, 141 Ks. So Robbie's the guy I think for this one, but you never know.
Right.
Next matchup.
Number 22 seed against number 43 seed. Colin Lautenbach as a 22 and Quinn Klug-Hesse as the number 43. Colin won a championship this year. They're both first-year players. Well, no, Colin's a second-year player.
Colin actually played in 2014. He took 2016 off.
Okay.
Yeah, he took 2016 off. He played very little in 2015.
Okay.
So he actually has played in 3 of the 4 years.
Okay. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think Colin's a better player than Quinn, although Quinn really showed promise. He was on my team a little bit this year for the Liners. He played good for the Otters. I think this one, because the experience is so little, you have to go on performance, and I think Colin is definitely a better player than Quinn.
Was it Quinn?
Quinn and Colin.
Quinn and Colin. Well, I did play against Colin this year in the championship game. I think he had a performance that will not be forgotten in the championship game. He lit us up. Very good job. I congratulate him on that. I played against Quinn this year too. Between the two, I would have to go with Colin. Colin shows more promise to the league and more talent, but that's just my opinion.
Quinn, the way that Quinn found the league, I love it. I mean, he read an article in the newspaper that Austin Warner helped us get. Read the newspaper article, looked us up online and found us, and that just to me is awesome that he would come out and give it a go. And obviously he didn't play that much. Quinn played 15 games this year. He did play quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it's tough to adapt. I think he did good. He got some homers there towards the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Finished up with I want to say 5 or 6 homers. 6 homers. So it was good. He was getting some good at bats. I think that he needs another good year under his belt for his pitching. His pitching was a 12.2 on ERA. Good for a first timer, but needs to lock that in, get some practice in it, and make that better. His matchup against Colin is going to be tough. Colin was never really a guy that showed up that often. Obviously, he won the championship this year. Had a great year this year, but he's never played that many games. I want to say, he played 17 games this year. Wow. So he had a great year. He's a power hitter, obviously. 21 homers this year, so tied for 7th there. But I'll go with Colin. I'll go with Colin on this one. So Robbie, Seth, Colin, and Quinn. Who you got making the top 16?
Robbie, Seth, Colin, and Quinn. Robbie, very easily.
This is no hard decision. I believe Robbie will do it.
Okay, last 4 of this podcast here. We got the 27 seed versus the 38 seed. 2 players that didn't play this year. So this one's going to be interesting because we had a lot of new players this year that won't know who these 2 are. The number 27, Nick Feeney, against number 38, Bo Hofstra.
We'll let Sheriff take this one up first.
Who is he against?
Your gay brother, Bo Hofstra versus Nick Feeney.
Bo Hofstra versus Nick Feeney. I would have to take Bo in this, He showed up, I think, once, maybe. Twice.
Well, he showed up to the championship game this year just to watch.
Yeah. He's
watch
showing
his boyfriend.
Oh my, this is just getting out of hand right now. No, but what was his stat line one time he came? It was absurd.
Oh yeah, he had some good stats. I mean, I could look him up quick, but
yeah, from the stats he did. I talked to him later that year about drafting him. What was it, in 2015? I drafted him.
You drafted him in 2016 first round. I was on your team that year, and he never showed up.
I sense a little bitterness in your voice, Tim, on that.
Yes, because I told you that he won't show up.
We worked it out. He said he didn't have games of the week, but it turned out differently. But
he had 9 homers and 26 at bats.
Yeah, so he's a stud. Hopefully we can get him out here later when he's finally done with his baseball career and college and whatever. He'll make an appearance, I think. But between him and Nick, I could see Bo beating him, moving on, even though he only played once.
Bo's gonna beat him, huh?
I do think so. Yeah.
He's got a career 9.0 ERA. Hopefully, he doesn't pitch like that at Purdue.
That would be a problem. Feeney played for the Fantastic Four in 2016. We bumped them. Sultans.
He was an owner in 2015. He owned actually the name that got us our national name. He was the Legends of Leroy. He came up with that name. So you got to add to the point that he came up with the name that we use for our national team.
That's true. Yeah, I think this will be a tough one. I think Bo's pretty popular, but I think Nick has done more, so I think I'll take Nick in this situation.
It's no question for me. Nick's going to win. Bo he hasn't played that many games. Nick's played for 3 years. It's unfortunate he didn't play this year. He's got a college thing he's doing with some running, so I understand that. He's played 25 career games. Yeah, it's not a fancy headline matchup, but I got Nick going. So we'll go to the last matchup of this, which will be number 6 Eric Detmar versus number 59 Alex Men.
Eric is a Nationals team member, very prestigious in Leroy. Great pitcher, 2-time champion. Yes, yeah, 2-time champion. Eric could make a deep run in this. He'll win the first few matchups based on his performance alone. I think what's going to separate going forward is actually what you do for the league, so I think that could trip him up in future rounds, but this one is not even a question.
Going off what my brother just said, a lot of the points I agree with. It's just about what you've done for the league and how you get through it, and I'm just agreeing with what my brother's saying right now.
Eric's in his first year of college. Is there someone else here tonight who's in their first year of college? Do you want to know how many games played Eric's had?
Go for it.
61. Guess how many games you've played in your career?
Go for it.
61.
Oh, my goodness.
It's Jared's the hitter, Eric's the pitcher of our future.
Yep.
For nationals, and,
Yep.
and I think Eric really has shown what he can do on the national scene this year with great games against Skippy and a great game against I believe GBL. Yes, GBL, right?
Yep. He started and I finished that one.
Yeah. So just a great player. He's Brett's not winning 2 championships without Eric. He's not.
Nope.
And they mesh well. They can argue with each other, and it motivates them to do it. And the one thing that's very unseen is his speed, and that's what's crucial to him. And this year he says he's going to step up with some board stuff and help out with that. And I'm interested to see that. So we will finish. Who do you got? Eric, Alex, Bo, or Nick? Who makes your Sweet 16?
Eric.
Eric.
Eric's the consensual, if that's the right word.
Consensual. Did he say
yeah.
yes? Did he say yes?
Consensus pick. It's great.
Greg, do you give consent? All the
So
time.
that is the end of our
Lord.
first podcast. We will come out with another one in about 5 days to go over the next 16 players. And then 5 days from there, we'll do the next 16. And then 5 days from there, we'll do the next 16. So keep an eye out for this. Make your picks. If you don't pick your players, you will not get to pick in the later rounds. So all 73 players are able to vote. I will send you your information. Make your picks. It'll take 30 seconds to make your picks. It's a multiple choice. So, but we will see you on the next show. And thanks, guys, for coming
Yep.
on.
Yeah, see ya.
Sheriff out.